Okay, what we're working on today is an Onan genset. It's a 6.5 NH, which is a 6.5 kilowatt. And we've got our, let me get around the back side of this rod here. We got our point set right there. I'll focus on that or not. There it is. Okay. We got a point set, which is in kind of a tower. And every time I use this thing, it'll run 1-2 days and then it'll start cutting out and crapping out, and it's just from dirty points. There's a cover that goes on there, but it's still, the points get arced, and here you can actually see it running. So okay, so you can see them arcing and sparking, and they get pitted. I've changed the condenser a bunch of times to try to stop the pitting, but it just keeps coming. After you do find a good condenser, you keep it. I don't change the condenser every time, but if you find one where the points last a long time, you hang on to it. They'll have different values. Anyways, we're going to put an electronic ignition kit in it, but unfortunately the one for this generator is obsolete, so we're going to have to make do and hodgepodge something in there. First thing to do is, let's get this, they call this a breaker box or a breakout box. It's kind of a tower with a really long push rod. Push rod's right here under the points. So we're going to pull that tower, breaker box, and push rod out of there. It's just 2 screws down there on the bottom. So let's get this out and then take a look at the kit that we need to get in here. Okay, here's the tower out of the generator. Real easy, 1 wire, 2 screws, pops right out. And then we got the push rod, and there's a guide bushing, and then they use a little kind of an O-ring right here on the base plate. And this push rod looks like a phenolic. It's kind of tan. Looks like a phenolic push rod for the points. So I'm gonna hang on to this. The replacement is not available for this for electronic ignition. If you want electronic ignition, what you have to do is go with this, which is much shorter. This doesn't fit up on the box, it fits down on the base. And in the kit, they'll give you a new push rod of the correct length. So this is the correct length push rod, and they give you a gasket for the base. All right, so they said it bolts right on. I've already checked this base right here. This base, it does in fact bolt right on. And this just uses kind of a bail across the top. So you throw that bail clip off and pull the lid off. And they've got a very nice CNC machine base plate that they've made here. This is an aftermarket kit. This is not genuine Onan Cummins. So they've got a nicely CNC machine base plate. And what's interesting, if you look at this, this push rod, and hold it sideways, goes through at an angle. So it is directional, and it does matter which way you put it in. So you can see that hole there is drilled off center on that. And this just meets up with the Protronics unit right here off of that push rod. So this gets bolted way down to where the old one was, and then you adjust your timing right there with that screw. After you're set, you drop your lid on, set it and forget it. My kind of unit. Okay, this is what you're going to see down in the after you pull the tower off and clean where the gasket and everything was. And you can see the bolt pattern's offset, so you can't put it on wrong. You remember that push rod was angled, so you want to make sure it's going the right way, obviously, so it cannot be installed wrong. And we're gonna install our gasket, our base plate, our push rod, and the Protronics unit, and we're gonna reuse the old screws. Put it in. But let me get that in, and then I'll bring you back and show you a little more. Okay, well, we got our we got our unit in, and what you do, I had to fuss with it a little bit. It's not adjusted. You adjust it right here with this Allen bolt, and there's a spring, an Allen bolt. There's a lock nut right here. You release this lock nut, and that carriage slides back and forth. Now it's got a sweet spot. As installed, it wouldn't even start. You just got to keep moving that around until you at least get it to fire, and then you can get a timing light on it. But I tell you, this thing doesn't skip a beat now. It still uses a cam. There's still a cam there that operates off that push rod. So you still have to, you still have some mechanical wear in there, and you know that you'll need to make adjustments every once in a while. But it's not like having to change points or clean the points every couple of days, which wasn't that big of a deal. Flip the shroud, slide some sandpaper in there, and clean it. But this is a great little kit. It dropped right in. A little bit of fussing to get it to start. But let me put the bail and the cover back on, and we can wrap this. I had a visitor. Oh no, there goes Tokyo. Hey, where are you going? Okay, well there you have it. Cover's on. It just couldn't get any easier. 2 wires, one to positive, one to negative on the coil, and the guts inside are Pertronics, and I've used Pertronics forever on my Volkswagens for the ignition system, so I trust Pertronics. They're right over here in San Dimas, California. But the rest of the kit is nicely made. It fits well, it works well, and it comes with an instruction sheet that's very easy to read. All right. Okay guys, well that wraps this up. Like I said, they had very clear instructions on everything, on how to install the electronic ignition. You can use a timing light on it and set your timing if you feel so inclined. I did not, I just timed it by ear. But I know where to adjust it if it has a pre-ignition problem or anything like that. But good little kit. Available at Minnesota Power Parts. These are the guys that actually make these things. Make the adapters to fit the Pertronics into your Onan. So this is not a paid endorsement, nothing more than a satisfied customer. I was literally out there for 10 minutes changing this out, and I had it running. They are a Cummins dealer, so they've got genuine Onan Cummins parts. And look these guys up on the internet. Minnesota Power Parts in Blaine, Minnesota. This is going to get wrapped up and be ready for the magnetic zombie apocalypse when all the electronic devices in the entire world quit working. You know what? I'll still have a generator because I'll plug that dude back in. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.